idiota. Honourable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayer.
Almighty God, in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness, have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity. We beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Item 2 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Honourable members, I want to welcome you back from the brief recess. You'll recall that on 30th October 2025, the presiding officer adjourned the House and dined. This was aimed at according sufficient time for the members to participate in the ongoing electioneering process. We have, however, recalled the House today for some urgent business. I appreciate all of you who have been able to come and be in the House, and especially those members who lost in primaries and are not standing, like my brother Chemasweti Toroko, and they are not standing, but they can still come back to the House. I want to thank you so much for coming. I want to thank you for coming for this sitting. Honorable members, I appreciate all of you who have heeded the call to participate in the sitting today. Indeed, this is a time that we need to be in the constituency, but because of these agencies that are here, we've had to be here. Given the budget timelines, we shall have at least one more sitting in this calendar year to receive the National Budget Framework paper pursuant to Section 8(5) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 and Rule 152 of the Rules of Procedure. I also want to take this opportunity to extend my best wishes to those who are campaigning, like my love. My love, I want to congratulate you upon winning the case. Congratulations. And I want to extend, we wish all of you well in this ongoing election. We want you back in the House. And I also want to congratulate all those who are opposed. I want to congratulate everybody and wish everybody well. And as we prepare to come back to the 12th Parliament, honorable members, as you may be aware that the Parliament of Uganda is hosting the East African Interparliamentary Games from 6th to 17th December 2025. I want to urge you, all of you, to participate in your various disciplines as we protect the gains of Uganda. We need to protect Yala gains, the gains of Yala, and honorable members, in this, honorable members, rather on a third note, on Tuesday, 25th November, we lost one of our former members of Parliament, Honorable Canon Absalom Ongom Abenego. He used to represent Omoro County in the National Resistance Council, NRC. That is 1996 and 2001. He will be laid to rest on Saturday, 6th December 2025. We relay our heartfelt condolence to the bereaved family and the people of Omoro and all the loved ones. May we rise to observe a moment of silence in his honor.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Honorable members, you'll allow me to invoke Rule 26(1) of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament and vary the order paper to accommodate two loan proposals. One report on Auditor General's report, and then the annual report of Health Service Commission. Thank you. And once again, thank you for coming. Yes, Love. Yes, love.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I also join you in welcoming colleagues back from the political battlefield. I know that most people are out there fighting for their political lives. I quipped and I told the Prime Minister, the acting Prime Minister, that she is very smart. Yes, she's very smart, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, today is day number 65 since presidential campaigns kicked off officially. They officially began on 29th September of this very year. So today is day number 65. And you did allude to campaigns, wishing people to have successful campaigns. We are out there at various levels, presidential, parliamentary, and so on. Honourable Speaker, the campaigns kicked off fairly well. Peacefully, people were out there campaigning, especially the presidential campaigns, and we were happy. In fact, at some point we were here, and I commended government. I said, here I'll give you credit, because so far we are not being disrupted. We hope it continues that way. But alas, it was as if we were triggering them to do otherwise. The campaigns have now become brutal. Very unfortunately and unexpectedly. People are being shot dead, others are injured, many are incarcerated. Tear gas has become the order of the day. Dogs are being used to attack citizens, akin to what used to happen under the apartheid regime in South Africa. Police trucks, police cars are being used for crowd control. That when people are standing on the roadsides, waving to their presidential candidates of choice, the way police pushes some of them off the road is by driving into them, and a number of them have sustained numerous injuries because of that. Honourable Speaker, I saw the IGP, Mr. Abbas Byakagaba, yesterday. He held a press conference. And as we have been making these complaints, why is the brutality setting in so intense a manner? He made remarks and said, the presidential candidate of the National Unity Platform, the party I belong to and speak for, is to blame for the brutality meted out to our supporters because we hold processions. That was according to IGP Abbas Byakagaba. I said, now, there's a problem here. Our colleagues in the NRM regularly hold processions, very regularly, including yesterday, Right Honourable Speaker, because candidate Yoweri Museveni Tibuhaburwa Kaguta was in Barara and Rampara, and they held processions in anticipation of him. They even had a band leading them in holding these processions. Now, it is honestly hypocritical for IGP Abbas Byakagaba to say, NUP, we are shooting at you, tear gassing you, using dogs at you and so on, because you're holding processions. But our colleagues in the NRM are holding processions. Why these double standards? Why this alarming hypocrisy, Right Honourable Speaker? And by the way, I don't want to be misconstrued. I don't fault the NRM colleagues for holding processions. It's campaign time. When a candidate is meant to be in a district, it will be different. That's why police is notified and so on to make sure law and order prevails, because there is political activity. So I do not fault NRM for holding processions at all, because it is campaign time. My challenge is when NUP and the opposition hold processions, it is illegal. And so they must be shot dead, they must be beaten, tear gassed, and so on. And for the NRM colleagues, it is okay. This is hypocrisy. And all of us should be condemning this. Because if actually processions are illegal, it should cut across. My considered view is that they are not illegal. Government should tell us. It's good the Attorney General is here, Prime Minister is here, very smart as I said. Are processions illegal if it is NUP supporters? But if it is NRM supporters, as we saw in Barara yesterday and elsewhere, they are okay and legal. They need to let us know so that we are clarified on that. Honourable Speaker, as I quickly wrap up, Yesterday again I saw something. Oh, the police truck in Mbarara was ferrying NRM supporters to take them to Boma grounds where the NRM candidate was to hold a rally. I got a bit confused. I said, now, on the one hand, you're beating our supporters, but you're helping to ferry supporters of another candidate. How does this work? When we saw His Lordship Justice Simon Byabakama, the EC chairperson, saying, after you have voted, please go home, police will protect your votes. People are wondering, now, this police is ferrying supporters of another candidate to their rally, and you expect that they are going to protect the votes of everybody? It does not quite make sense, Right Honourable Speaker.
You said police was ferrying supporters of
yes,
one candidate.
the police truck
From where?
in Mbarara, ferrying them to Boma grounds for the rally of candidate Yoweri Museveni. That was yesterday, Right Honourable Speaker.
I was actually in Mbarara yesterday. Okay.
I don't know if you didn't see it, Right Honourable Speaker, but it happened in Mbarara yesterday. Right Honourable Speaker, the 6 p.m. narrative that I saw the IGP talk about. Yes, according to the regulations and the guidelines, presidential rallies should end at 6 p.m. All rallies, actually. We should endeavor to respect these guidelines. I have a challenge, Right Honourable Speaker, in my camp and my presidential candidate. Police will normally take us off the main roads. A distance that should be 20 minutes ends up lasting 3 to 4 hours. So inevitably, you will get to a rally late. And this is a complaint that we have raised regularly. Why is it that where other presidential candidates pass, the NUP presidential candidate is not allowed to pass? What is the issue? That you have to take us around in these circles. So it's good that we get some procedural guidance on this issue, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me 1 extra minute. Because this is very important, Right Honourable Speaker. We were in Kayunga. After we were taken in circles, we got to the venue 5 minutes to 6 p.m. When the candidate began to speak, 2 minutes past 6, police began to lob tear gas canisters, firing in the air, and so on, attacking the crowd, and caused a deadly stampede. So I wondered, what exactly are you trying to cure? Because, yes, 6 p.m. is the cut-off time, and we are trying to abide by it. But of course, we are taken in circles, so we might get there a few minutes late. 5 minutes past 6, you are attacking a huge crowd and causing a deadly stampede. How does that make even legal sense? It does not, Right Honourable Speaker. Even then, Right Honourable Speaker, why use bullets, tear gas, and so on? Because you're trying to implement a 6 p.m. rule, and you are killing people unnecessarily. Honourable Speaker, again I saw...
There's information, if you can take it.
Information from Honourable Ethel.
Additional information. Thank you so much, Lob, for giving way. In addition, this information is also needed. Yesterday, what we experienced in Shira Municipality, Wakiso District, I'm actually a victim. Not now, this time, police. UPDF trucks, a truck, 2 of them came to my side of the car. They hit my mirror. They have their numbers. They have hidden their number plates. And they are on the road. They are aiding police, but the way they are behaving. So we are saying that, how comes now even the UPDF trucks are part of the police security, but they are hiding their trucks? We cannot say this number plate is the one that has hit my car. They have affected the public address system, which we are using. They have hit, these UPDF officers, they hit yesterday our public address system truck. So we are saying now, whom should we ask and why? Thank you for your information.
There is information from Kimosho.
Thank you.
I'll take the information from my former committee member, Honourable Kimosho.
Thank you. Thank you, my former chairman. Honourable Speaker, I wanted to inform my former chairman and the leader of opposition to take heart that sometimes, in Kazo, I hosted the president recently, and I had organized a huge procession. It was supposed to be about 4 kilometers. And police stopped me even when I'm in RM. And so take heart, some of these things are not targeting NUP. As you guide Right Honourable, maybe let's look into this matter holistically, but I don't think it is targeting group.
One thing we can tell you, whether you're NRM,
Yes.
whether you're opposition,
Yes.
if the regulations
Yes.
and the guidelines are saying no procession, there is no discrimination. We don't want procession. And even if NRM is doing it, they should stop it.
That's
If
what.
opposition is doing, please stop it.
Thank you for
as
the
I conclude-
information.
as I conclude-
I thought you were done with your information, honorable colleague.
Let him finish.
May we
Let him
allow the
finish.
speaker maybe to do her work? As I conclude, Right Honourable Speaker, what I wanted to bring out clearly is that it shouldn't be misconstrued that it is NUP being targeted. Because I was stopped, I had organized everything. I actually got headache because of stress. And so it was a bad thing, and I'm sharing the feeling with my brother that processions are not allowed.
Thank you for that information. I sympathize with you. You know, whenever we talk about election rigging, I saw colleagues in the NRM camp complaining about their votes being stolen, money being used, and so on, including people who sit on the front bench. So yes, some of what we suffer, some of you will suffer. That's why we should collectively say this is wrong and condemn it. Because if it is going to be okay for some, you will be targeted when you annoy the powers that be, Honorable Chimosho.
So you
and so they will not allow you. Honorable Speaker, you were giving me information. Honorable Speaker, again I saw the IGP talking about some of their officers being assaulted, some pushing and shoving. I saw a video which the police displayed. A very problematic video, a female police officer who was being pushed around by some people. The IGP said those were our supporters. I don't know where he gets that from, whether they had tags or whatever. But look, anybody that commits an offense, that person should be arrested and prosecuted. As you know, and it's the same narrative they're using. Some of them peeled stones and so on, and they say we have videos. I say, look, if you have seen and recorded somebody pushing a police officer, why then do you have to fire at a crowd? Pick up that person, prosecute them. Honorable Speaker, never have we been on record to say it is okay for police officers to be assaulted. I'll remind the House, Honorable Speaker, in 2022, July thereabout, there was a police constable called Robert Mukebezi that was shot at by a UPDF officer. He was on duty. A UPDF car got involved in an accident, so he was towing it to a police station. They intercepted him and shot him. The man lost his leg. We kept coming here demanding for justice for Constable Robert Mukebezi. The police abandoned him, his institution of work. The army had done nothing at all. Up to now, that man is still suffering. And we have raised that issue, you remember, Honorable Speaker. So that's to show you that we are concerned about anyone that finds themselves offended
Thank you.
legally.
Thank you.
Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, this is the final issue. Right Honorable Speaker, we are getting close to an election. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs in April of this year was here, and he told us that they are going to table regulations on how biometric voter verification machines are going to apply themselves in the upcoming election. He made that commitment. That time they were seeking supplementary funding to purchase more of these kits. And we asked, where are you basing all of this? And he promised here on the floor, April of 2025, this year, that he will bring the regulations. We have 1 month to an election. They keep coming and asking for money, including some of the supplementaries that are going to be tabled. They want money for the voter verification machines. What guidelines are you going to base on? I saw candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He made a statement when he was campaigning somewhere. He said, the biometric machines are what we are going to use mandatorily. A polling station where the machine will not work, voting will not happen. I was a bit confused there, and I want government to clarify. With our network issues, we saw what happened in the last election with the census. These machines, the far to reach areas, including Kampala anyway, and the neighboring areas, network will fail, usage will fail. So if you say, we are going to use these biometric machines mandatorily, so where they don't work, there is no voting. So what will happen? In Honorable Kazo Chimosho, who is also saying he's targeted sometimes, if they say we don't want this man back, they make sure at his polling stations the machines fail, or any other person anyway. That means no voting will happen.
Thank you.
What
Thank
happens?
you.
But also those regulations, we need them so that we are able to interact with them, punch holes in them, and otherwise. Thank you for accommodating my concerns, Right Honorable.
Thank you. Lob, what Lob raises is pertinent. On the issue of brutality, I don't think brutality is needed as of now. One thing we are failing to understand, most of these candidates don't have support. When you start brutalizing people, you give them support. They don't have. Me, I've been in the field. They don't have. I am speaking as the second national vice chairperson of the NRM party, and I also want to request all parties to respect the regulations and the guidelines that are given. But Attorney General, what Lob raises is really a very serious matter. Maybe you will need to give us information, or government. No, let's first get, because this is about our people. Let Madam give the information.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank the Leader of Opposition for the information and the issues he has raised here. One, he raised the issue of violence. Nobody wants violence in life. And
yes, there's a procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, if you allow me later, I will be raising a supplementary issue. But the procedure issue I am raising, the Prime Minister wrote, and she said she will only be represented by the Honorable Nakadama. As far as I see, the Honorable Kasule Lumumba has not changed her name to become Nakadama. So has she now been authorized to come and represent the Prime Minister?
The letter was written to me, not to you. And the letter delegating Honorable Lumumba is also written to me, not to you. So that's why I told her to speak as government. I am the recipient of that letter. It is not for
But Madam Speaker, you act on behalf of Parliament as an institution. So we can't have a stranger representing the Prime Minister.
Can I have government, Honorable Lumumba? And I am calling the name Lumumba. I would have called the general. I know why I'm calling Lumumba, because she's the one acting.
thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. But I also want to inform the member that I'm Kasule Lumumba Justin, Minister General Duties in the Coordination Office, Leader of Government Business in Parliament, and that is Office of the Prime Minister. I was talking about the issue of violence that was raised by the Leader of Opposition. I started by saying nobody would love to see violence, nobody would want to experience violence. But when police comes up and gives us information based on what has happened, Right Honorable Speaker, it's the responsibility of the people who are hurt, especially the political party or the individual candidate, to petition the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission calls for a meeting, and if it requires also calling for the government agency that is responsible for the activity or for whatever has happened, then discussion goes on, and if it requires even Electoral Commission bringing out more stringent guidelines, can you do that based on what has been discussed? So I want to request the Leader of Opposition to raise this issue with the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission will have the time to listen to them and look at the evidence they have, but also call the other parties to also bring the information and the evidence they have. If it is visual, then a discussion will go on and a way forward will be found, and it will inform the decision or even amending the guidelines. But the issue of violence, based on what we have seen, whether it is AI or is not AI, I would think we should all keep discipline. And if police gives us guidelines, let's follow the guidelines. And we should also not mobilize people to take up the law into their hands, because it is affecting the most innocent. When you see what is happening, in the beginning, before these videos also came up, well, if they are not AI, where people are giving instructions to people to do certain things above the law, certain things were not happening. And even the leader of opposition came here. I was here, and he appreciated. And we also cheered him and said, it is okay, let's continue this way. So what went wrong? We should go back to the Electoral Commission and find out, because that is the team that is mandated to bring all of us on table. Secondly, the issue he has raised, but I also want to add that the person who lost his life, Mr. Okero, may his soul rest in eternal peace. But we should also take responsibility at individual level to make sure we remain disciplined and follow the guidelines. And where we see that there is chaos, let's try to keep away, because I can't tell whether he was involved or not, according to, unless police comes up and explains. Another issue he has raised, the issue to do with the police car ferrying people to the NRM rally in Imbarara. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would want to see the evidence he's tabling, because he has not presented any evidence to us. And people what does he use to call them NRM? Is it the color they were putting on? Which color was it? Were they Catholics putting on the color for the Catholic Guild for the women? Were they putting...
Honorable Lumumba, I said I was there. There was no police vehicle ferrying any supporter. Maybe those were the choir members of the Catholic Church. But for me, what is very crucial that he raises is the issue of brutality. That must be handled. Attorney General, that issue must be handled, because the people who are being brutalized are our people. But we should also not use our people to go on the front line, to go and demonstrate, to go and do funny things, go on beyond the time, the regulations that are required. We should be responsible enough. And I'm saying these candidates don't have support. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think, Right Honourable Speaker, you have summarized the issue on violence. I'll just answer the question on biometric voter, which he raised. I'll refer the Leader of Opposition to the Electoral Commission Adoption of Technology and Management of Elections Regulations, SI1 of 2021, which address the issue of the use of technology. So the use of this technology is provided for in the law. So that is sufficiently. But the issues of network and any such issues can be addressed under Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The SI that the Attorney General is alluding to, we know and we do have. It's a generic one. And that's why when the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, who is your supervisor, by the way, according to the law?
He's not by law.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and I insist, who is your supervisor? Here committed on the floor of Parliament and said, look, we are going to table in April of this year that he is going to table regulations with specificity to the biometric voter verification kits, how they are going to operate, who does what, and so on, because that's important. The generic law, yes, technology, we must be able to use it. That's why that 2021 SI is in place. But a specificity one. And there was a commitment from your end. Yeah, and the other clarification, Right Honourable Speaker. The acting Prime Minister has said we should address these issues to the Electoral Commission and not here.
Let's first, Honourable. This is a very important
Okay,
issue.
we can finish with
Let's
this.
first
That's
sort out the issue of the machines. The other ones, the other political issues can be handled. Let's first handle this one.
The Honorable Attorney General, whereas we all agree that technology shall definitely improve, mainly the verification of voters on the voters register and coming up with a legit election, the question arises on the following matter that is not legislated. One, like the Honorable Senyonyi raised, by one candidate saying in the election that should the machine fail, elections at that polling station shall not continue. Now, that is not embedded within the law. So, not within the law. So, unless we legislate and embed the two, that because you remember during the other election, the Electoral Commission came out and said when some of the machines collapsed, that now you can go and refer to the manual register. You understand what I'm saying? So, in case that happens, how is the voter, the candidate, and the electoral process, in this case, how will it be viewed?
Can I find out?
As specifically
Can
right?
I find out?
Yes, please.
Did the candidate write?
Pardon?
Did the candidate write committing that is what should be done? Or it was just something said?
I think
like
that's even a great proposal from him if he had put it in writing. But now that
because now it is a hearsay.
none of his representatives denies that he didn't say it, we shall take it that he believes in the process.
So we are debating on a hearsay.
It's not the biometric machines, Madam Speaker, are not a hearsay.
No.
And the issue that if they
excuse
fail,
me,
then what follows?
Honorable, what did he say? That if it fails,
Yes.
election should not take place in that place. That's what we are saying. Is that something that was written, or it is a hearsay?
It's not anywhere under the law. That's what we
Elections is done by the Electoral Commission. Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act mandates the Electoral Commission even to stop an election on election day. Right now, I am telling you, you have sufficient legal infrastructure to run the BVVKs. And if Electoral Commission feels that the election should not take place there, it is within the law under Section 12 of the Electoral Commissions Act. So there is nothing to worry about. If I've not heard the President say that, I've not seen the communication from the President to that effect, but the mandate to run the election is with the Electoral Commission. So any issues that you may have in respect to that, you can raise them with the Electoral Commission. But my advice to you is that you have sufficient legal infrastructure to use the BVK machines.
Maybe we also need to remind you that the President is also a candidate. A candidate does not determine how election takes place. It is Electoral Commission. Yes, yes, Asumani. Asumani. Asumani Daudi.
Right on, Speaker, I want to thank you. Maybe through you, I would wish to comment on the issue of the games. But I wanted, again, through you, to address the issue of the machines, the legal regime, and the BVVK machines. Right on, Speaker, the learned Attorney General, in the 2016 election petition, was defending Mr. Museveni in the Supreme Court. I was defending the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi in the Supreme Court. In 2016, we were on opposite sides. Always, we had an opportunity to extensively argue this matter, you recall so well, in the Supreme Court. And there were basically two issues. Number one, there was the issue of the legal regime. At that time, there was nothing to do with the legal regime at that time. As we speak now, one of the things you need to bring to the attention of this House, my understanding is that the regulations were brought probably under Section 51 of the Electoral Commissions Act. Yes. And there were two issues. There are two issues there. Those regulations were supposed to have been laid before this House, within 14 days after being gazetted. And this House had a right, through resolution, to have them annulled if they so wished. But more importantly, whatever changes or modifications or proposals that any candidate has or Parliament had to be embedded in those regulations. Now, progressively, there are things that are happening that are not adequately covered in those regulations. I'll give you an example. There are stakeholders in these elections, the candidates and the political parties. Machines are being procured, and the stakeholders have no idea at all but where they are coming from, how they are being procured, the kind of technology. Because you remember, even on the issue of technology in the Supreme Court, we did ask, we invited the Electoral Commission, you recall, in the Supreme Court for cross-examination.
Honourable members, can we invite the minister responsible for that docket? And we have it, because we cannot continue discussing. You're referring to Honourable Mao. Can we have a sitting and invite him to be in the House?
Can I now address his thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, thank you
so
very
the
much.
issues of the BVK, we discuss if you're okay with the sitting.
Right on, Speaker. The reason why it was important to discuss it now, but I obviously respect your ruling, is that those regulations have timelines, and given the time remaining, the issue of time becomes of essence. That's why I thought that, because at the end of it all, right on, Speaker, the Minister for Justice will not be in the Supreme Court. It will be my good friend, Nsumi Kambi, over there, who will be in the Supreme Court. That's why I think it was important for him to use this platform. But, obviously, your guidance takes precedence. Right on, Speaker, I want to thank you for making a communication on sports. I want to add three things. Number one, that colleagues, the opening ceremony will be on the 5th. 60th. That is, we will have a procession from here. Yes. There is going to be a procession from here. Right on, Speaker, we have secured the necessary permission to have a procession.
Honourable members, Parliament of Uganda wrote to the police requesting that the members of Parliament want to move with all the East African members of Parliament, yes, from Parliament of Uganda to Kololo.
Yes.
And we were given permission,
yes,
by the police.
And right on, Speaker, the clerk did issue invitations to all members of Parliament. At least I saw the communication. We'll be converging here at midday, right on, Speaker, and lunch will be served here. Then we will walk from here to Kololo, where there will be a presentation by the Honorable Niwe Amanya Mshega, Secretary General Emeritus of the East African Community. And after the ceremony in Kololo, we'll be moving to Lugogo, KCCA Stadium, for the opening football game at 5 p.m. between the Parliament of Uganda and the Parliament of Kenya. Right on, Speaker, I want to inform colleagues.
As defending champions.
As defending champions. I want to inform colleagues that member states are coming here under the impression that we are too busy with the campaigns, and therefore they think this is an opportunity to beat us. I want us to disprove them. Colleagues, come in big numbers. Those who are participating in different sports, please, you train. And those who will be available on Saturday, please come to KCS Stadium at 5 p.m. for the opening game, football, and other games will be going through, and we shall be sharing the schedules. I want to thank you, colleagues. I want to thank you, right on, Speaker.
Thank you, Daudi.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to talk about the issue of violence that was raised by the leader of the opposition. Madam Speaker, we all need to understand that violence is caused by us, the leaders. I have seen and watched several videos where the leader of the National Unity Platform has clearly stated that the security forces, police and UPDF, do not exceed 50,000 in number. Ugandans are 47 million people. He was encouraging them that if they could rise up, they could overrun the police and the army. Was he saying that in accordance with the Constitution, or he was saying that knowing that he is breaking the law? The same person I saw was the Honorable Rutamaguzi on camera encouraging people.
There's an order.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Daudi Kabanda from Kasambia has made a heavy sounding allegation. He has said that my presidential candidate told people to overrun and I think attack police and the military. Does he have evidence to that effect? I'm hearing some voices that yes, he did. You don't shout from there, you speak on the microphone.
No, we have the army. The army have want to say something.
Yeah, but Honorable Speaker, you're always telling us this is not a market. People should seek permission and come to the microphone, not screaming from wherever they are seated.
Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, can he table that evidence of my presidential candidate saying people should attack police? I don't know where he gets that from. If he cannot table that evidence, he's certainly out of order in my view. So I would like to implore you, Right Honorable Speaker, to condition him to table that evidence before going on with those heavy sounding allegations. Because we have always been for the protection of our men and women in uniform. Our government has even promised to pay them better than you people are paying them. How can you then say we want to attack them? Right Honorable Speaker, if he cannot table that evidence,
you know,
let him withdraw that statement, Right Honorable Speaker. Because we can all make allegations here.
Honorable Love.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker.
You know, we cut him in between. I did not hear the whole statement.
He had finished that statement.
No, he hadn't. I wish I could hear the whole statement. Then
Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, he has, and that's why I rose after he had made that heavy sounding allegation that my candidate told the people to attack police officers. Let him table the evidence or withdraw.
Honorable Love, I want to hear the whole statement, then I will ask him to give me evidence. Yes?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The same presidential candidate of the National Unity Platform, the videos are there. You are not the speaker. Let me address the speaker.
Please continue.
The same presidential candidate, the videos are there. If you give me just 20 minutes, I produce those videos to the clerk.
Go and bring
the same person said, and he was encouraging the young people of this country, that they should use social media, TikTok and YouTube, to see what happened in Nepal, what happened where, what happened in those countries where they broke the laws. You can also use it in Uganda to overthrow the government without going through the constitution of this country. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kavanda, that's a very, very serious statement. That's a very serious statement. That's number one. Number two, those allegations can bring this country down. And we cannot allow as a country to be brought down by just mere people who want to stand. Can we have that evidence? Give us, go and bring, I'm giving you 20 minutes. No, 20. Yes. Next item.
Right Honorable, I'm moving on a procedural matter. And this is very good, Right Honorable, because when Lopo was making allegations about our candidate, that he said, when these machines don't work, you'll not vote. We didn't ask for evidence. He did not table any evidence.
No.
Can he table the evidence equally?
The presidential candidate of the NRM has not said that. I said it was a hearsay. If they are talking about it, it's a hearsay. If he had written it, and he does not, he's not responsible for elections in Uganda. It is Electoral Commission that is responsible to carry the elections in Uganda. So leave my presidential candidate. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper. Laying of papers. 3.1. Supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Can I first? Okay. Honorable members, pursuant to Article 156(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act, 2015, and Rule 160 of the Rules of Procedure, I will invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to lay the supplementary expenditure 1 for financial year 2025-2026.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the supplementary schedule number 1 for financial year 2025-2026. I beg to lay.
Thank you, honorable members. This particular supplementary expenditure schedule was delivered in my office on 26th November 2025, at the time when we had recess, and I know we still have recess. We're only having a brief sitting, unless the law says we continue sitting up to the end of the month. And however, considering the urgency of the supplementary and the prevailing electoral process calendar, I administratively referred the supplementary to the budget committee to enable them to process. Honorable members, you recall that this House has previously relied on the precedents that has been made in this House, and based on Rule 8 of the Rules of Procedure, where you have an emergency, you can do administrative referral, and then the House will process it after. Next.
Item 3.2, supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Honorable members, as guided earlier on, it still applies to this supplementary, and the minister can lay on table.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on table the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for financial year 2025-2026. I beg to lay.
Item 3.3. The annual budget performance report for the financial year 2024-2025.
Honorable members, both supplementary schedule 1 and 3 were referred, as I said, administratively and pursuant to Rule 163 to the Budget Committee. Honorable members, Section 17(1) of the Public Finance Management Act requires the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to report to Parliament by the end of February and October each financial year on the performance of the budget. I now want to invite the Minister to report. Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on the table the annual budget performance report for financial year 2024-2025. I want to start with volume 1, which covers all programs and votes between vote 001 and vote 016. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Then volume 2, starting from vote 017 to vote 125. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Volume 3, covering votes 126 to votes 309. Then lastly, volume 4, covering votes 310 and all local government votes. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Pursuant to Rule 179H, the rules of procedure, the report stands referred to the Budget Committee for consideration. Yes, procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda is on record for having accused us of being unable to read these big volumes, and particularly saying that we need people who are intellectually apt, and he was specifically attacking our different internal electoral commission processes and the candidates that had qualified for the different parliamentary positions. And he's a member of the Budget Committee. Right Honorable Speaker, is the minister in order to present very big volumes where one of the members is it procedurally right for the minister to produce very big volumes when he is aware that some people, especially in the next parliament, may not be in a position to read those volumes? Is it procedurally right?
Why are you legislating in anticipation? You mean that next parliament is only going to bring equivalence? No. Next.
Item 3.4, the annual macroeconomic and fiscal performance report for the financial year 2024-2025.
Honorable members, Section 18(1)A of the Public Finance Management Act, election economic and fiscal update, not earlier on for the 4 months before the polling day. The performance, I want to invite the minister to come and lay on table.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table the macroeconomic and fiscal performance report for the financial year 2024-2025 as at October 2025. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 184 of the Rules of Procedure, the report stands referred to the Committee of National Economy for consideration.
Item 3.5, the proposal for pre-financing the design and build of Kayunga, Bale, Galiraya Road, 87 kilometers, from gravel to paved standard.
Honorable members, pursuant to Article 159(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Section 34 and 37 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, Rule 162 of Rules of Parliament, I will now invite the Minister to lay on table the proposal.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table the proposal to pre-finance the design and build of Kayunga-Bale Galilaya Road, 87 kilometers from gravel to paved standard. I beg to lay.
Thank you. This stands referred to Committee of National Economy for consideration. Pursuant to Rule 162.2. I can see the Bale Member of Parliament. The Bale Member of Parliament. No, that is for Honorable Lugolobi. Honorable. I've not given you. It doesn't matter. It is your constituency. It's your constituency.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to appreciate the proposal and to enlighten the public that the request being laid in here, or the floor of Parliament, is going to serve a connectivity purpose of northern Uganda to central region, and the Kayunga district is in a strategic location of the central heart of Uganda. So the request being laid in here, I hereby support it on behalf of the people of Bale, Kayunga district, central region and the north, for strategic purpose, development, and any other factor as may be outlined. Thank you so much.
And honorable members, this also takes us to thank the President for fulfilling his manifesto of infrastructure development. We want to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Yes, next item.
Item 3.6, the proposal to borrow up to euros 385 million, approximately United States dollars 448 million, from the Rand Merchant Bank, RMB, and other financial institutions to finance the Government of Uganda infrastructure and development budget for the financial year 2025-2026.
Thank you, honorable members. Pursuant to Article 159.2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Rule 162, the rules of procedure, and I invite the Minister to lay on table the proposal.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on table the proposal to borrow up to euros 385 million, approximately 448 million US dollars, from the Rand Merchant Bank and other financial institutions to finance the Government of Uganda infrastructure and development budget for financial year 2025-2026. I beg to lay. This
stands referred to the Committee of National Economy as per Rule 162.2 of the Rules of Procedure.
Item 3.7, the proposal to borrow up to United States dollars 162 million from Korea Export-Import Bank for the Makerere University Improvement Project.
Pursuant to Article 159.2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Rule 162 of the Rules of Procedure, I want to invite the Minister of Finance to table the loan proposal.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table the proposal to borrow up to US dollars 162 million from Korea Export-Import Bank for the Makerere University Improvement Project. I beg to lay.
Thank you. The loan proposal stands referred to the Committee of National Economy, and that is pursuant to Rule 162.2 of the Rules of Procedure, and should report back in the next sitting.
Item 3.8, the Karamoja Regional Development Plan financial implications.
Honorable members, Section 7.2 of the National Planning Act 2002 vests the mandate of planning, including the coordination and support of planning process at both the central and local government level in the National Planning Authority. I want to invite the Minister of Karamoja Affairs to table the report. Honorable Minister, let her table then.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, before I table this Karamoja Regional Development Plan, permit me to join my colleagues to congratulate you and the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker for retaining your positions as unopposed in the next Parliament amongst the other members of Parliament. Colleagues who are unopposed, congratulations. And to those who are in the trenches, we are together, we are praying, and God will be gracious to us. Right Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to lay the Karamoja Regional Development Plan 2025-2026 to 2034-2035. Together with it is the Certificate of Financial Implications for the implementation of the Karamoja Regional Development Plan. I beg to lay. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The document stands referred to the Sector Committee of Presidential Affairs.
Item 3.9.
For consideration. There's a clarification. Honorable members, when you bring a lot of clarification, I'm trying to save time for you to go back to the trenches.
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity.
Some of us have all the time.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Right Honourable Speaker, the clarification I want to seek from the Minister for Finance is that we are passing these loans, Parliament is processing them, committees are doing their level best. Unfortunately, sometimes there are delays by government to execute the loan agreements. I want to particularly mention, Right Honourable Speaker, that recently I was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and we passed here a loan for the renovation of Bujiri Hospital. And I was engaging people at our embassy there, and the bank that is supposed to give us the money said, if we don't sign the agreement as soon as possible, there is a likelihood of us missing out on the money. So I got concerned. And Right Honourable Speaker, you know these Arabs, with their money, they don't give a damn. I want to find out from the Minister why sometimes they take long, because we don't want Bujiri Hospital to miss out on that opportunity. And that's information I got about 2 weeks ago when I was in Riyadh. The loan agreement had not been signed. Yes, and I'm the one who lobbied. So, actually, you need to come out clearly and explain why there was that delay. And whether we will not be losing that loan from the Arab Bank in Saudi Arabia. Yes.
Honorable Minister has a very pertinent issue. There are loans that take long, and at the end of the day, we are paying money.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to clarify this. The responsibility for raising funds on behalf of government rests with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. So, Honourable Saligwa, you didn't lobby. This is my work. This is government work we are doing. So, Madam Speaker. Okay, order.
Honorable Basalira. Honorable Basalira, your work is to raise an issue, a concern of the people of Bugiri, which you did comfortably. And the other role of looking for monies goes to Minister of Finance. You did your part, leave the other part of raising funds to finance.
Just to mention something, when that loan came here, you recall how I thanked the minister. I even thanked the committee, and the minister should be able to recognize that. It's not very easy to receive appreciation from my side, notwithstanding that he was my voter at Makerere, and he was a member of my political laboratory. I had a political laboratory at Makerere. This minister here was a member of that political laboratory. So I thanked you and I appreciated you. Eh?
Members, can we move? We are happy as people of Bugiri that the hospital is going to be worked on. And the money will be available. And yes, Honorable, next item. Doctor, I will give you next item.
Item 3.9, the interpretative declaration, reservations by the Republic of Uganda on the partnership agreement between the European Union and its member states on the one part, and the members of the Organization of the African, Caribbean, and Pacific States on the other part, Samoa Agreement.
Honorable members, Section 2B and 4 of the ratification of the Treaties Act 1998 requires all the treaties by the Cabinet to be laid before the Parliament as soon as possible. I will now invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs or acting to table the Samoa Agreement.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on table the ratification of the Samoa Partnership Agreement between the EU and OSCP states and submission of interpretation / reservations. I beg to lay right honorable.
Thank you, honorable members. Pursuant to Section 2B of the Ratification of Treaties Act 1998 and Rule 42 of the Rules of Procedure, the agreement stands referred to the Sectoral Committee of Foreign Affairs for consideration.
Item 3.10, Annual Report of the Health Service Commission for the period July 2024 to June 2025.
Honorable members, pursuant to Article 174 of the 70 subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Rule 197 of the Rules of Procedure, I hereby invite the Minister, a Commissioner, to table the Annual Report of Health Commission for the period 2024 and 2025. A Commissioner, we have a Commissioner here. Give Lope. Lope is just tabling a report of Health Service Commission. Where are you? You leave my love.
Honorable Speaker, I am shocked. I have been invited to table a document on behalf of the Parliamentary Commission. But since statutorily I am a member of the Commission, I will table. So this is the Health Service Commission Annual Report for financial year 2024-2025, and I duly table.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. The report is referred to the Committee of Health for consideration.
Item 3.11, the investigation report on select expenses and procurements at Uganda General Hospital.
Honorable members, pursuant to Article 163 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Rule 180 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, I invite the Honorable Commissioner Lope to table the report of Auditor General.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm very happy to be doing work of the Commission today. Keep deploying me. This is a report, investigation report on select expenses and procurements at Uganda General Hospital. I lay the report.
Honourable members, the report stands referred because of the nature of the report. This report is referred to the Criminal Investigations Department and must report back in 2 months.
Item 4 on the order
There's
paper.
a procedure from Dr. Batua.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm proceeding with Rule 59 that gives us space to seek your leave to come up with a motion that is not on notice, where the same rule also gives you power and authority to allow us look into that matter at that very moment. The matter is to do with health, and it is the imminent strike that is about to hit the country by all doctors in this country. The issue is on discrimination of a particular category of interns by the Ministry of Health. Interns exist in 3 categories. Those that have just finished the first degree, then we have the SHOs, those are the ones who are doing masters.
Honourable member, I wish you had been here at the time the Lope was here alone. You would have raised that issue. Just imagine how people read this Hansard, that after an item, a matter of national importance comes in. I was actually ready with an answer for you if you had been here before. Can we go to the next item?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Item 4 on the order paper. Motion for the House to resolve itself into a committee of supply to consider the supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Honourable members, you will note that the next 3 items are similar because they relate to the approval of a supplementary expenditure schedules. I have been informed by the Budget Committee, to whom I had referred the supplementary schedules, that the supplementary schedule report is ready. And the chairman is also available. Schedule 1, 2, 3 were referred for consideration and they are ready. The minister is available to move the 3 motions successively, justify all of them so that we can receive a consolidated report. The House will then supply each schedule independently. Honourable members, pursuant to Article 156(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015, Rule 160 of the Rules of Procedure, I will now invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to move a motion on each of the 3 successfully. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for the House to resolve itself into a committee of supply to consider supplementary Schedule 1 amounting to Uganda shillings 1.650 trillion. I beg to move.
Seconded. Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Honorable Kavanda, Senta, Charity, Alanyo, Verike, Baka, Honorable Luelo, Ndoroko, Honorable Rabirama, and the whole site. Plus Honorable Abudu, Honorable Butaleja, and Mwenge. Is that Mwenge or what? Bugembe. Yes. Can you justify? Honorable Kinto, I thought you had shifted this side.
Right Honorable Speaker, Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act states that the total supplementary expenditure that requires additional resources over and above what is approved by Parliament shall not exceed 3% of the total approved budget for that financial year without approval of Parliament. Madam Speaker, pursuant to this section, we have incurred expenditures that had been unforeseen and unavoidable at the time of budgeting, which fall within 3% requirement, and we are requesting Parliament to consider these expenditures and approve them in order to regularize the process. Madam Speaker, this schedule was referred to the committee, and in the interest of time, I beg that the detailed information comes in the committee report. I thank you.
Thank you. Can you now move for Schedule 2?
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to move a motion for the House to resolve into a committee of supply to consider the supplementary schedule number 2 amounting to Uganda shillings 1.696 trillion. I beg to move.
Seconded. Schedule 2. Honorable Charity, Honorable Alanyo, Honorable Sentai, Honorable Elwelo, Honorable Kavata Daudi, Honorable Rokajara, Honorable Tiang, David, Daudi, Ntoroko, Honorable Bright, Margaret, Wilson, Bianyima Nathan, the elders, Agaba, Amuria, Nebi, Herbert, Kapelebyong, the whole side. Just fine.
Madam Speaker.
You know, most of you are changing. Jacinta is putting on weight because of campaign.
Right Honorable Speaker, Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act 2 states that where the funds are expended, Section 24 requires that where the government wishes to spend money over and above the 3%, it should first seek approval and authorization by Parliament. Madam Speaker, in this financial year, we have a funding gap in the road sector amounting to 1.69 trillion, which we would like to cross, and this is why we prepared Schedule 2, seeking Parliament to give us authority to budget for the road sector an amount amounting to 1.69 trillion, and these funds shall be directly spent on the road sector without any other government expenditure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The supplementary is for the road sector. So even when you don't stand to approve it, you should know that it's for the road sector and it affects your people, your communities. Schedule 3.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolve itself into a committee of supply to consider supplementary schedule number 3 amounting to 2.906 trillion. I beg to move.
Thank you. Seconded. That is Schedule 3. The money is meant for Electoral Commission. Seconded by the whole team. Even Buyende is here. Salongo is here. Ayeko. Daudi by the whole house on this side. By Salongo. Yes, justify.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Schedule number 3 is also over and above the 3% rule and requires approval by Parliament before we spend. Briefly, the main expenditures here is the Electoral Commission to enable the Commission complete the expenditures for the elections, and also we have statutory expenditures under Treasury operations, which we must also meet, and the other expenditures under Ministry of Defense, among others. Madam Speaker, I pray that the House considers these 3 schedules so that we are able to facilitate government to continue meeting its obligations. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. As I said before, that we shall have a consolidated report to this effect. And I want to invite the chairperson of budget to come and present a consolidated report on the 3 schedules, Schedule 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The House, we have the report uploaded on the iPads, so you can follow from there. I'm going to make summaries. I would like to first lay the report of the committee signed by majority members of about 20.
Please lay.
I would also like to lay the minutes of the committee. I beg to lay. Right Honorable, we also have with our report a minority report signed by 1 member. Honorable Semuju Ibrahim, Shadow Minister for Finance. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Right Honorable and colleagues, the schedules were referred to the committee and committee managed to constitute.
Honorable Chair, can you lay a letter of referral too?
Yes, there was a letter of referral of Schedule 1 and 3 to the committee to constitute a process. I beg to lay.
By yourself. And continue.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, now that you are aware that the committee had to process a report for Schedule 1, Schedule 2, and Schedule 3, all totaling 8,104,390. The methodology, as usual, is by interaction and scrutiny of documents provided within the law. So the committee scrutinized a number of documents, including the Constitution, and interacted with a number of relevant stakeholders. The committee went ahead to examine the legal framework and found that the supplementaries fall within the requirements of the law as per the Constitution Article 156(2) and the Public Finance Management Act. So it passed that test. The committee therefore required to know the source of funding for the supplementary. And I would like to report that the supplementary is going to be funded through non-tax revenue, totaling 42.96 billion. Local revenue, totaling 13.03 billion. Domestic borrowing, which we call internal, 3,770.35 billion. And external financing, totaling 4,278.05 billion. As such, it balances with the expenditure proposed. Right Honorable and colleagues, allow me start with the Schedule 1, totaling 1,652,290,000,000 Uganda shillings. And the committee therefore recommends that these amounts be approved to the relevant votes. And I'm going to read the amounts per vote that the committee has recommended the House to approve. Vote 1, Office of the President, 20.430 billion. State House, 300 billion. Office of the Prime Minister, 1.195 billion. Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, 565 billion. Minister of Foreign Affairs, 3 billion. Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, 81.6 billion. Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, 103,482,000,000. Colleagues, take note here that this money includes 79, so I beg your pardon, 79.46 billion for procurement of handy hose for 7 million households. So soon we are going to have handy hose distributed to our people. I think we should take note that these are still undergoing a procurement process, and definitely by the time these hose arrive, election will have been done. Therefore, this is not meant just for campaigns, but for production, to increase output production in the country. So don't fear that they will be distributed in the names of a certain party. Thank you very much. To increase output. Ministry of Local Government, 5.4 billion. Ministry of Lands, Housing, Urban Development, a total of 45.212 billion. Ministry of Education and Sports, 15.804 billion. Ministry of Health, 17.95 billion. Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, 11 billion. Gender, Labor and Social Development, 5.5 billion. Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, 11.179 billion. National Medical Stores, aware that there was a withdrawal of support from USAID, Gavi. Government has to cover the gap created by loss of that external funding. As such, is reinforcing the medical stores with 115.76 billion. Office of the Auditor General, for verification of domestic areas, 1.62 billion. Education Service Commission, 6.29 billion. Uganda Investment Authority, 1.5 billion. Uganda Revenue Authority, 23.89 billion. Uganda Police Force, to ensure that there is adequate policing during elections, 183.03 billion. Uganda Land Commission for compensation of land debtors, 108.85 billion. Uganda missions at the United Nations in New York, 1 billion shillings. Various local governments for unspent funds the previous year, amounting 15.59 billion. That's to enable the various local governments carry on the USMAID development projects. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, all that read comes to a total of 1,652,290 million Uganda shillings as supplementary schedule number 1, which the committee recommends the House to approve. I beg to move for schedule 1.
Honorable Patrick, present all the 3 schedules. It is a consolidated report.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Thank you for allowing me to move to Schedule 2. Schedule 2 was a total of 1,696 billion.
Trillion.
1 trillion. I beg your pardon, Right Honorable Speaker, we need a correction on our figures here. The wording there should be billions, not trillions. It's 1.696. I beg your pardon. It's 1,696 billion Uganda shillings. This schedule was all meant for Vote 016, Ministry of Works and Transport, in order to fix various roads, aware that there were about 7 suspended projects amounting to 395 kilometers Projects such as Moroto, Lokitanyala, of about 42 kilometers, Najanankumbi Busabala Road, 36.5 kilometers, Mitiana Mubende Road, about 100 kilometers, and the Kampala Jinja Highway of about 72 kilometers that had been suspended due to lack of funding. 11 projects were under reduced progress. There was a go slow coming to around 533 kilometers. Includes roads like Oriyo, Pakwach, a road like Kisubi, Nakauka, Kasanje, Mpigi. Hey, that one. Now work will, after you approve the money, work will be progressing. There are also about 9 bridges projects that got affected with a constraint in financing. The likes of Katonga Bridge, Sezibwa, all were go slow. Colleagues, the details of this are attached in Annex 2 and 3. Right, Honorable Speaker, I don't know whether it will be
Honorable
important.
Ishagi?
Yes.
Would
right.
you mind to read for us those roads so that we know which roads we are talking about?
Okay, we can go to Annex. Under Annex 1. Under Annex 1, we summarize the roads, the amounts of money, which is budgeted for Duka, KCCA, road maintenance. Then there are national roads upgrade and rehabilitation. There are also ferry operations here of about 12 billion. So some of the roads, Fort Portal Bundibujo, Lamia, we know that road. There was an estimate of 118 billion. And for this year, the requirement to do the phase for this year is 50 billion. However, there was nothing provided in the budget. Gulu Atiaka Nimule Road, it's going in a bad shape. Mubende Chenjojo, Ntunga Morukungiri. There is also a section, completion of the road, Tororobusia. Najanankumbi Busabala Road, Renkunye, Apache Lira, Puranga. So, Honorable Mara, thank you for lobbying. Luero, Butalangu Road. So, Koboko Yumbe Moyo. You know that road when you leave Koboko via Yumbe headed to Moyo, it's for upgrade. So money is being provided, and Yumbe Yure. Kisubi Nakauka, Nakauka Maya, Nakauka Natete, Nakauka Kasanje Maya, and Nakauka Buaya. All those roads. The money is here. Once we approve, we're in business. We also have critical oil roads. There are also critical oil roads like Kaboya, Buhuka, Kihura, Rwamwanja, Kahunje, Bwinzi Mpala, Namagumba, Budadiri na Lugugu. Hey, these people from Bale. The road is there to be completed. Moroto, Lokitanyala, Kira Matuga Road. For Honorable Semuju, thank you for lobbying. Kabale Bunyonyi. Kabale Bunyonyi Road, that's a tourist road, up to Kisoro Mahinga. Busega Mpigi Express Highway, we need that one badly. There is a road from Muyembe to Nakapiripirit. Lusalira, Nkonge, Lumegere to Sembabule. Kabanda is in business. Thank you for lobbying. Namuga. Okay. You see, NRM government doesn't discriminate. So Namuga Road is here. Iganga Bulopa Kamuli. Iganga Bulopa Kamuli. You connect properly. This is for the former speaker. And the current speaker has implemented. Thank you for lobbying. There are also critical roads like Kabale, Kizirafumbi, Nyairongo, Kyaruseha, Masindibiso. It seems nobody is excited about this one, but this one is an oil road. Also, there is a section enabling access to Kabale International Airport of about 3.2 kilometers. Kauku Bweranga Road. Bwerenga Road. Oh, Honorable Nalwima, congratulations. Your cries have been listened to. Tell our people that the road is going to become super. Laropi Afoji Road. See, that's the West Nile Road. Yes, and also Laropi Bridge. So things are getting better. Upgrading of Katine Ochero. Honorable Bwalu. Katine Ochero is here. Kampala Jinja Express Way. This is to clear now the right of way. We have also oil road at Karugutu Ntoroko. Hey, I saw Honorable Ibanda. I repeat that one. Okay, that is Karugutu Ntoroko Road. Karugutu Ntoroko Road. Kitgum Orom Karenga. Right Honorable Speaker, you had inquired about the road. We have a road Kitgum Orom Karenga. Oh, very good. Your pronunciation is better. Karenga. Because they wrote to NEG, Nga for me it's written as Nga. We also 116 kilometers. Right Honorable, we have also Kitala, Gerenge, Kigumba, Bulima, Kagandi Bridge is supposed to be part of this. Bumbobi Lwahaha. Bumbobi Lwahaha, Mubende Kakumiro Kagadi. All those need improvements. Right Honorable, those are the roads so far provided under the supplementary Schedule 2, amounting to 1,696 billion Uganda shillings.
Thank you.
I beg the House to approve so that the General of Roads goes direct to do the work.
Thank you. Before can go to the next schedule, then we
Schedule 3.
We'll debate. We'll debate.
Okay.
No debate.
Right Honorable and colleagues, we also have Schedule 3 as follows. All these Schedule 2 and 3 are for prior approval. Vote 002 State House, 159.983 billion. We request you to approve. We have recommended for approval all this money is under Schedule 3. 4004, Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, 305.4 billion shillings. Ministry of Public Service, 85.46 million. Here the narration is million, not billion, but millions. Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, 7.95 billion Uganda shillings. Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, 42.03 billion. Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, 10.295 billion shillings. Ministry of Local Government, this one is also to do roads, oil roads, seed, what's the wording? There's a name. Oil seed roads, where oil production is going to take place. Oil seed roads, 37.5 billion. Ministry of Health, a total of 69.693 billion. Colleagues, I would like us to take a note of this. Ministry of Health procured a number of ambulances scattered around the country. However, operationalization of these ambulances has become a problem in the forms of fuel, repairs, maintenance. So most of these ambulances are getting packed, some at the ministry headquarters for repair, but there is no money to repair ambulances. So here now money is being provided here, 10 billion shillings for the remaining part of the financial year, such that the ambulances have fueling system, maintenance system, all centered at the ministry headquarters. So let these ambulances not disturb our honorable colleagues. Government is going to fuel all ambulances, repair them, and have them running this very financial year. The government ambulances, they are being distributed in all health centers, districts, hospitals, constituency ambulances. There are very many. Ministry of Trade, Industry, Cooperatives, 37 billion shillings for expansion of Soroti and capitalization of Soroti Fruit Factory. So Honorable Cooper, go and produce more fruits. Ministry of Works, again, colleagues. Ministry of Works, an addition of 696.451 billion shillings. Ministry of Energy, I beg your pardon, under Works, one may wonder how that money is. Again, we have procurement of aircrafts to add our fleet, because the business is booming, but we have a very small fleet. So it's causing a lot of inefficiency in operations. So if we procured more aircrafts, then we shall be making profits.
Honorable Samuel, I thought he's reading his report. You'll also have time to read yours.
No, a report from a committee is a report from a committee. What the chairperson of the committee is doing is to make promises outside of what was presented. Even calling names, Semuju begin celebrating, Okupa begin celebrating. Is the chairman of the budget committee proceeding well by, first of all, purporting to be the Minister of Finance, speaking with the authority that these things are going to be done, but also diverting from a report that he's reading? Is he proceeding well, Madam Speaker?
Honorable Samujo, the chairman is doing a very, very good job. And by being a chairman of budget, just know that he has a lot of authority, and just know he's an post. That's why he's taking all his time.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable, for that wise ruling. You needed to have also added to him that this authority also, I'm also the uncle of the Speaker. So allow me to enjoy the authority for now. Right Honorable and colleagues, government is also going to recapitalize Uganda Railway Corporation with about 100 billion. So, vote 017, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, 188.65 billion. All this is going to increase the connectivity for electricity around the country. So once this money is there, more connectivity is going to take place. Minister of Water and Environment, 52.96 billion for urban water, SCAP 100, where they are going to connect 75 smaller towns and rural growth centers, and also they plan to connect about 156 villages around the urban centers. They are going beyond the urban centers, those villages near the centers. So all that are going to be provided with the water pumped and with the solar panels driving the power. Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, 6 billion shillings. Electoral Commission, vote 102. 469.5 billion shillings. So this money will enable the commission production of ballot papers, biometric voter verification system, payment of polling officials during presidential. Colleagues, let's take note that Electoral Commission has managers organized and brought machines, but they need money to make the payment. It was not provided for those biometrics.
Right, Honorable Speakers, just as a clarification from because the chairperson of the Electoral Commission was recently at the airport stating that they had all the money to procure the machines and he received them. So what exactly are you talking about? Servicing, deployment? It is just for clarity to the nation so that it knows, so that there is no conflict in the message you're passing on.
Thank you. You're exactly saying the right thing. But where you need more clarification, in management, there are things you do first. There are things you do even if you don't have money. There are things which you can front load. There's money which is front loaded. There's money which is supposed to be spent later. So you go for those things which take time to be delivered and to be verified. So Electoral Commission in their management arranged not to firefight towards the end of elections. So when this money is approved, it goes to fill that hole. But the purpose is clear. Yes. Thank you. Uganda Heart Institute is being provided with 40 billion in order to carry on the construction of the Heart Institute at Naguru. National medical stores, aware again that there was a cancellation of money in Gavi, USAID, withdrawal of USAID, needed money to support our people. 269.777 billion Uganda shillings. National Information Technology, 185.289 billion shillings. Uganda National Examinations Board for construction of a digital center, 28.5 billion shillings. Treasury operations, 1,850 billion Uganda shillings. This one, colleagues, take note that in the last financial year, there was money which was budgeted for external funding. This external funding was not delivered, it did not come in at the right time. Therefore, Bank of Uganda advanced government this amount of money for the expenditures that had been planned. Now that this money arrived after closure of the financial year, so we need to approve this money so that government, through treasury operation, pays Bank of Uganda in order to remain a credible borrower. Office of the Auditor General, 5.8 billion for ICT. National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, 67.753 billion. Uganda Prisons Service, 21.68 billion shillings. Internal Security Organization, 41.889 billion shillings. Moroto Regional Referral Hospital, 249 million shillings. Our consulate in Guangzhou for construction of a chancery building, 14.211 billion shillings. We have various local governments which have money like local revenue, unspent balances from the U-Gift, and reimbursement of VAT for the operations. So various local governments will get 148.239 billion shillings. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I therefore request the House approves a supplementary expenditure under Schedule number 1, 2, and 3 for financial year 25-26, amounting 80,104,390,000,000 Uganda shillings. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Chairman. And as you had said before, that we have a minority report from one of the members. Can we now hear from the member?
Madam Speaker and honorable members, I have outlined the areas of dissent. One is the procedural irregularity of supplementaries to committee before they are tabled in Parliament. The overall size and character of the supplementary request, the repeated supplementary financing for long-standing predictable obligations, unequal allocation of development funds, the political risks, excessive reliance on classified expenditure, failure to plan for donor exits in projects that are donor funded, recurrent bailouts of entities, persistent lack of documentation for key infrastructure, and major election spending without proper disclosure. I'll begin with introduction. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, in all my 14 years in this House, I have never seen a supplementary request that casually rewrites the national budget the way this one does. A revision of 6.255 trillion. The chair has said the request is 8. What was tabled and for which the minister confirmed yesterday was 6.255 trillion. I don't know at what stage it became 8. Above what we approved is nothing short of excessive. Our national budget of 72.376 trillion can only be lawfully revised through supplementary expenditure in cases of genuine emergencies such as natural disasters or unforeseen crises. Yet here we are with 459 billion requested under State House, including allocations for youth mobilization for the NRM presidential candidate and other items disguised as classified. So the NRM candidates wants money for mobilizing youth. They are called youth tours. Suddenly, the political discomfort among younger people who are not supporting President Museveni has been turned into an emergency that must be funded at once. The handling has been equally troubling. I learned of the budget committee meeting through a phone call from the chair, barely 10 hours before the sitting. Yet Rule 2134 of our Rules of Procedure provides, unless the House is sitting not less than 48 hours, not shall, the word shall, be given to members of the committee when calling any meeting. The word is shall. But the chair casually called me at night. He said, come in the morning. The rules assume that MPs conduct serious business on behalf of citizens, not that we gather to rubber stamp or validate the wrongs of the executive, which is what this process now appears to demand of us. So the first area of dissent is non-compliance with the law. Article 156, sub-article 2 of the Constitution states that if in respect of any financial year it is found that A, the amount appropriated for any purpose under the Appropriation Act is insufficient, or that a need has arisen for expenditure for a purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act, or that any monies have been expended for any purpose in excess of the amount appropriated for that purpose, or for a purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act. This is what is important. A supplementary estimate showing the sums required or spent shall be laid down before Parliament, and in the case of excess expenditure, within 4 months after the money is spent. So this is a constitutional requirement, laying of the document, the requests before Parliament. The Public Finance Management Act, Section 24, is clear on how supplementary budgets are processed. It states, the total supplementary expenditure that requires additional resources over and above what is approved by Parliament shall not exceed 3% of the total approved for that financial year without approval of Parliament. Section 24(1) states that where funds are expended under subsection 1, supplementary estimate showing the sum spent shall, this is a law, it's not a rules of procedure. The law says shall be laid before Parliament within 4 months after the money is spent. Rule 160 of our Rules of Procedure states that the minister responsible for finance shall, and you can see from the Constitution, shall, to the Public Finance Management Act, shall, to the Rules of Procedure, shall, in accordance with Article 156(2) of the Constitution and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act, present before Parliament supplementary estimate on behalf of the President. Rule 160 says the Speaker shall commit, the word shall, commit the proposed supplementary estimates to the Committee on Budget and to each, please take note, to each sectoral committee, the part of the supplementary that falls within the jurisdiction of the respective sectoral committee. Subject to Regulation 18 of the Public Finance Management Act, Regulations 2016, as amended, a supplementary expenditure request must meet the following conditions. I don't have to emphasize them. Unavoidable, unforeseeable, and they are all explained in the law. The supplementary expenditure requests before us do not conform to these conditions. They may be sweet. I have seen colleagues celebrating, but the conditions were set by this House. Right Honorable Speaker, these are the provisions of the Constitution and the statutory procedures laid out for processing supplementary estimates. Perhaps the Speaker did not fully consider these constitutional requirements when she received and referred the supplementary request to the Budget Committee. Knowing that the requests had not been properly presented to Parliament, the chair of the committee should have immediately drawn the Speaker's attention to these provisions. Since this did not happen, the Speaker now has no option but to adjourn this matter to allow the proper process to be followed. Because this is what the Constitution, you can suspend the rules, you can't suspend the Constitution, you cannot suspend the Public Finance Management Act. Don't stampede Parliament. That's what the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act says. The role of the sectoral committees. Supplementary requests from ministries and agencies are supposed to be scrutinized by sectoral committees, which on behalf of Parliament supervises these sectors. This is not a ceremony, but a safeguard for citizens' hard-earned taxes. There are more than, I put 50, but 100 agencies requesting for supplementary budgets. Sectoral committees are required to scrutinize these requests and report to the Budget Committee within 14 days. We received these requests, I don't know, maybe on Sunday, because on Monday, and then the following day the chair was calling a meeting. So the requirement is that you refer portions to sectoral committees for scrutiny before you authorize. The Budget Committee has no capacity to inquire into the details of all these requests. You needed to be in the South Committee room where we sat to witness the stampede firsthand. All these agencies streamed into the room and crowded the corridors. This should never happen again, Right Honorable Speaker and members. The MPs on the Budget Committee who arrived from up country in the morning and went straight into the meeting were visibly tired. Even when I pleaded with the chair that we were tired, he simply said, "Let us go ahead." Some ministries and agencies appeared with no written briefs at all. Others came with loose sheets of paper. Some simply recited figures with no clear explanation of how they arrived at them. This is unacceptable. Before you approve expenditure, you are supposed to look at the procurement plans and work plans under Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act. That's what we did when we were passing the budget. That's what should be done. The Budget Committee sat for about 8 hours yesterday. It is not possible that it scrutinized all these documents, and the rule on referral is very clear. These are referred to you for scrutiny, not just for coming here and you repeat what the minister has given you. This practice creates room for abuse. Figures can change, like you have seen them actually changing. The minister brought 6 trillion, the chair is reading 8. Even me, a member of the committee, senior member, I don't know how they rose from 6 to 8. Items can be smuggled in or removed before formal tabling. Yesterday we even had a Soroti food factory with no money, with no source of money, but it had also been put here. Uganda cannot manage trillions of shillings through informal briefings and hurried presentations. We must insist that the minister tables the documents properly before Parliament and only then refers them to the committee. Anything else compromises transparency and exposes public funds to risk. Any attempt to process these supplementary requests amounts to overthrowing the Constitution, the Public Finance Management Act, and our rules of procedure. I agree there is room to suspend the rules, but there is no room I am aware of for suspending the Constitution. Source of funding. Rule 162 states that the supplementary estimates presented under sub-rule shall clearly spell out the source of the funding for the supplementary expenditure request for each vote. Reason, you passed a budget here. The moment you allow the Honorable Musasi to go and change it by 8 trillion, he will be removing money from the items that you approved and putting the money to the items that he likes. For example, there is the money for youth mobilization tours. Where is that money coming from? All that must be explained according to our rules. What the minister, my friend Honorable Musasi, did was simply place the word government of Uganda, GOU or external, at the end of each request. Yet the rule says clearly the source for each vote. The rules require that the source of funding be clearly spelled out. If the minister is allowed to play around with the budget this way, he will remove money from critical items and divert it to useless and unquantifiable things like youth mobilization tours under State House. Revising budget, initially, I was going with a figure given to us to 78. Now, it is to 80 trillion, because if a budget of 72, you are adding 8. We are now going to 80 trillion, the total budget. These supplementaries 1, 2, and 3 have revised the budget, as I said, you need to take note of that, to now 80 trillion. This revision carries far-reaching consequences for the economy. Financing these supplementary requests through borrowing will automatically raise the public debt. Remember, we are already borrowing 32 trillion to finance the approved budget. We are now set to return to commercial banks to borrow for all sorts of things. Parliament must examine all documents that accompany the budget to ensure that there is no deviation. These include the Charter of Fiscal Responsibility, the borrowing plan, and other related documents. Parliament must also study the findings of the Auditor General. In several of his reports, the Auditor General notes that supplementary requests are routinely made even when there is no actual money available to fund them. So it becomes a ceremony coming here, you pass, and they are not funded. Supplementary is becoming the main budget. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Parliament is being asked to approve more than, it's now 8 trillion in supplementary funding. If this continues, we will soon reach a point where the annual budget is treated as a ceremonial event, where the real spending happens through supplementary schedules. Road contracts that have been running for years cannot be classified as emergencies. Oil palm compensation has been ongoing for a decade. The UPDF hospital in Imbuya has appeared in 3 consecutive supplementary requests. Donor exits, such as you said, have been announced far in advance. These, by the time we did the budget, we knew that you said they had gone. We knew that money had been withdrawn. These are predictable matters that should have been foreseen in the main budget. Right, Honorable Speaker, from the foregoing, it appears that government has chosen to treat Parliament as a fallback position for everything they failed to plan for. So they just walk here and the chairman will come here, proudly say, we pass. The cotton-linked buffer stock and quiet favoritism. The Minister of Agriculture is requesting 6.1 billion shilling for what they describe as support to the cotton value chain. The first component is to cover the transport of cotton lint for fine spinners. The second component, which they revealed to the committee, is government's plan to purchase T-shirts from fine spinners and then sell them to the Uganda Tailors Association to recover the money. So you can imagine, you're borrowing money to buy T-shirts. Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this is where the alarm bells ring. We are being asked to believe that government is going to bulk buy T-shirts using public money, hand them over to a private association, and then somehow recover the funds. This is the kind of transaction that begins in a ministry and ends in a political rally. You've seen where candidates are going, especially the NRM candidate, even in Karamoja, where 62% don't have clothes. He has dressed an entire rally. That is in the report of, you can't say order, this is the report of the census. The trouble is that you don't read. Ugandans have seen enough election seasons to recognize when something is not adding up. Cotton farmers in Acholi, Teso, Buked, and Western Nile have waited for real support for decades. Their cooperative generally collapsed. Their farm gate prices remain miserable. Yet instead of helping farmers, government wants to subsidize the logistics of a private textile company and then buy T-shirts using the consolidated fund. The same fine spinners have supplied apparel to government programs before. Now government is positioning itself as their biggest customer in an election period. Supporting the textile sector is important, but not through hurried subsidies, opaque transactions, and a sales arrangement that no one can reasonably verify. If government wants a national textile strategy, let it table one. This business of buying T-shirts for tailors using taxpayers' money is not a strategy. It is a risk, and Parliament must not approve it blindly. agriculture areas and the geography of favor. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, tea seedlings areas have become a permanent feature of supplementary budgets. Apple seedlings, also supplied on credit, have now joined the queue. This is a system where suppliers deliver for years without a budget and expect Parliament to clear areas at the end of each financial year. It is not sustainable. Worse still, the same districts benefit repeatedly. Some parts of Western Uganda appear almost every year in Ministry of Agriculture submissions. Meanwhile, farmers in Northern Uganda have no tea nurseries, no larger-scale seedling support programs, and no agro-industrial facilities. Equity has become rhetoric rather than practical. Electoral Commission and the mystery of new polling stations. The Electoral Commission is seeking more than 460 billion for ballot papers, biometric systems, and the creation of new polling stations. Yet they have not provided a list of these new polling stations, nor have they justified the expansion. They also did not present technical documentation for the new biometric system. Election management should not be based on trust. Parliament cannot approve technology we have not seen, or polling stations whose locations are unknown. In an election year, such a past raises serious concerns. Minister of Works and Transport Crisis Management. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Ministry presented a long list of stalled, suspended, or slow-moving road projects. These include Moroto. I don't have to read them. The chair read them here. These roads have been under construction for many years. Their financing needs were known. Contractors have been waiting for payment. There is nothing sudden about these obligations. They are the result of chronic under-planning and poor cash flow management. A supplementary budget cannot clean up years of negligence. Uganda Airlines and the cost of flying without a plan. The ministry is requesting more than 400 billion to purchase new aircraft for Uganda Airlines. Yet the country has not recovered from the Bombardier deal, where we purchased aircraft that were already being phased out. Global production slowed, spare parts became scarce, and maintenance became a nightmare. The airline has been grounded more than once because mechanics could not source essential components. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we are now being asked to buy more aircraft before conducting due diligence on viability, maintenance, costs, routes, and long-term sustainability. We are being asked to purchase planes before addressing the problems of the ones we already have. A national airline should be a source of pride, but pride must be backed by planning. Parliament should not approve aircraft purchases that may leave us stuck once again with obsolete models. Before the government buys any new aircraft, a thorough due diligence process must be presented, including maintenance projections and route sustainability. Uganda cannot afford another Bombardier disaster. Even basic legal procedures have not been completed. There must be shareholder resolutions regarding capitalization, and these must be registered with the Registrar of Companies. We have a report of the COSASE which this Parliament approved. That's why I didn't include it in the report. In the report of COSASE approved here, COSASE recommended that we should be leasing instead of buying, and Parliament approved. Now it cannot be the same Parliament that approved leasing, now is saying buying. People who read Hansard will wonder which sort of Parliament was this one. Water and energy in this area. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Ministry of Water and Environment is requesting funds once again to connect 156 villages under SCAP 100, yet they cannot even provide a simple list of these villages. They want to expand umbrella water systems before addressing the same system that are unreliable and already too expensive for our people. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development still has electricity poles standing like abandoned monuments in many trading centers following the rationalization of REA. Transformers are nowhere to be seen, and hospitals spend hours in darkness. Yet the same ministry is demanding billions for new connections, while the old unfinished work is conveniently ignored. Right Honorable Speaker, this country needs proper sequencing, not a rush to announce new projects. We should complete what we start. It makes no sense to seek more money when already funded work is still hanging. Let us fix what is incomplete before moving on to the next project. Defense and negatory expenditure hidden behind classified budgets. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the first problem before us is the ever-expanding envelope of classified expenditure. Every year it grows, every year it returns, and every year we are expected to approve billions we cannot trace, verify, or interrogate. That's how negatory spending hides in plain sight. When money enters a classified corner without clear boundaries, it comes out as a bill to the taxpayer with no evidence of value created. A country cannot build accountability on invisible figures. It is in that context that other concerns emerge. Take the UPDF National Referral Hospital in Mbuya. This is not a classified project, yet it appears repeatedly in supplementary budgets with no clear progress, no timelines, and the same items returning like a bad chorus. Even more confusing, the National Medical Store is seeking supplementary funding to supply commodities for the same hospital, where the Minister of Defense is also requesting 10 billion to capitalize the hospital. Two different votes, one hospital and no clarity on who is actually responsible for what. This is how wastage takes root. Parliament must insist that hospitals are completed, budgets are harmonized, and the taxpayer is not billed twice for the same medicine. UDC and the perpetual bailout model. Sorot Fruit Factory is now a yearly visitor to this house. Every financial year it needs capitalization. Meanwhile, farmers in northern Uganda watch their mangoes rot in gardens. Industrialization cannot benefit one region repeatedly while treating others as afterthoughts. UDC must operate as an investment arm with performance indicators, not a rescue agency for struggling factories. State House. State House has spent more money under the 3% already. That doesn't require prior parliamentary approval, and they are asking for more. In total, State House is requesting approval of 459 billion in supplementary. The approved budget for State House is 479.8 billion. This will bring total State House budget to 939 billion this financial year. This is a revision of 95.9%. This translates into 2.5 billion per day and 107 million per hour, including at night when State House occupants are supposed to be sleeping. Considering that we are spending 1 trillion on parish development model per year, and you know parish development model is supposed to finance 3.5 million households, translating into 14 million people. So the amount of money we are spending at State House is equal to the amount of money we are spending on 14 million people to get out of poverty. The money we are spending on the residence of our dear leader is equal, as I said, to money spent on 14 million people. Can you imagine some of the money State House is asking for, which we will borrow, is for youth mobilization tours? You have seen my friend, the Honorable Barugahari, is addressing a rally every day asking younger people to support an old man. These State House requests must be rejected with all the contempt that it deserves. Recommendations are here. First, reject all supplementary requests that represent poor planning rather than genuine emergency. Require the Ministry of Agriculture to produce a full cotton value chain report before any further support to private companies like fine spinners. Freeze all agricultural areas until an independent audit verifies supply, distribution, and impact. Demand a national equity framework to ensure balanced regional development in agriculture, energy, water, and industry. Require the Electoral Commission to provide a list of new polling stations and full documentation of the biometric system before funding is approved. Finalize stalled rural electrification works before releasing funds for new connections. Require government to present a detailed due diligence report on Uganda Airlines aircraft purchases before approval. Demand audited performance and sustainability reports for Sorot Fruit Factory and all UDC investments. Mandate quarterly implementation reports to Parliament for all supplementary expenditures approved. Right honourable members, in conclusion, the people whose taxes we oversee do not enjoy supplementary lives. They walk long distances for water, they give birth under torchlight, they watch government planes fly over their villages while waiting for electricity poles that were erected 5 years ago. They deserve planning, not improvisation. They deserve fairness, not favoritism. They deserve a government that manages their money with discipline. This minority report is presented in defense of those Ugandans whose taxes you are about to authorize luxury spending. We refuse to endorse worst political convenience or poor planning. We dissent because it is our responsibility to do so. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, the report ends there. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, thank you so much. First of all, I want to look at the alleged procedural irregularity that you talked about. The minority report alleges the procedural irregularity, which is not correct. 2, Rule 161 requires the Minister of Finance to present the supplementary estimates before the House. The Minister indeed tabled the report of the supplementary. Today, if you look at today's order paper, clearly it provides for the laying of the supplementary schedules, which was done. The laying was done. The accompanying documents were duly attached to what the minister laid. And as I said before, that we did a administrative referral because members were on recess. And when we did that under Rule 8, there is nothing that would, there is a precedence that has already been set on that. And then secondly, the accusation that the House has flouted the Constitution, that is also not correct. Article 156(2) of the Constitution has been duly complied with. The minister introduced the supplementary on behalf of the President. The request was duly referred to the committee. The committee is reporting and has reported. I want to also, and when the supplementary is presented, the supplementary has the amount that is required, the purpose of that amount, and it has the vote. I want us to look at the introduction, where you are talking about the State House, the money which is given for State House, and you're saying this money is for mobilization of NRM presidential candidate. I don't think there is anywhere in the report, unless the chairman says it is there, which shows that the NRM chairperson requires this money for mobilization. And I want to, Honorable Semuju, as a custodian of the rules of the House, I wouldn't allow any statements that make this House look dirty. Because if it is not indicated anywhere, why are we importing statements into the report? Maybe I need to find out from the chairman, is the money meant for mobilization, the money which is classified? Because let's avoid the irresponsible reporting.
Right, Honorable. The money which is here is for youth mobilization activities. All youth of Uganda, the government pays a lot of attention to the youth issues. And we are all, like even Parliament has observed that we have got many youth, and youth need what we call affirmative action. So government provides money for youth mobilization activities, for youth livelihood, for better life skilling and so on. That's why we have even the hubs, skilling hubs, all that are done under State House. It's not an irregular activity. It's benefiting our youth.
And it is not benefiting NRM.
No.
Let's
the youth.
avoid this business of bringing NRM into this. Let's see, Daudi.
Madam Speaker, this is my report. I need
Yes.
to explain. You see, the moment you don't follow the rules, you run into trouble like this one. The law requires production of work plan and procurement plans for the money before you authorize spending. Can the chairperson of the committee table evidence here of work plan and procurement plans for this money? Then I will come here and apologize. This money for youth mobilization.
Before cabinet approved this, the work plan was presented to cabinet.
It's supposed to be presented before a parliament under the Public Finance Management Act, not cabinet.
We are not supposed to do work for cabinet. You see, we are in campaign time. We should also appreciate what Semuju is going through. He's doing his campaign now. And Honorable Semuju, we are with you. Don't worry.
That's unfair on me, Madam Speaker. Actually, you are the one doing campaign.
Madam Speaker.
Where is the procurement plan and work plan?
Madam Speaker, that Honorable Semuju is in the campaign. We are also in the campaign. And also we have a presidential flag bearer of NRM in the campaign. So when you blackmail that we are looking for money to mobilize NRM youth, we have a duty to object and tell the country that this is a program being run under State House. It is a program that was there before the campaign. It is a program that is seeking to remodel the youth livelihood program. It is a program that State House is implementing even way back before the elections started. So to insinuate that this is money that is going to mobilize NRM youth, no. This is completely not true. But also, Madam Speaker, there is another issue which was raised where the minority member is saying that each minute State House is spending this amount of money. Madam Speaker, budgeting is not done in minutes.
Honorable Minister, when you look at NDP4,
yes,
the theme of the NDP4 was sustainable industrialization for inclusive growth, employment, and wealth creation.
Yes.
Enhancement of human capital development.
Yes.
And that's where
that is where it
this
falls.
kind of money.
And also there is the work
promotion of empowerment and household programs for the youth.
Yes.
That is what is in NDP4.
Yes. Thank you so much, right?
And then you look at Objective 5 of NDP4, the development and operationalization of value addition, specifically on issues that regard the youth in this country.
Yes, Madam Speaker, and also additionally, there is a work plan to all these processes. We don't just cook numbers. The numbers are informed by the work plans and the activity schedules. So, and Madam Speaker, the people who are running the Treasury are sober people. I want to believe Honorable Semuju knows my background. There are things I cannot just do. I cannot give you money without a basis. I need proper documentation. I must make sure the law is followed. I must make sure that in the future when you ask me, I should be able to defend myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I have respect for Honorable Musasizi. This House, we approved a program under political party and organization, and we approved money under iPod. To this date, 2 billion shillings for FDC we have not received. Even the NRM has not received.
How is it related
because
to this?
He's saying, that Honorable Speaker, he said he cannot release money with that program. But money for political parties, we had a program, we approved it here, we have not received it. Why is not releasing money which was approved under program?
Honorable members, Honorable members, the 2 billion you're talking about is an arrears. Is an arrears which has not been budgeted for. You did not requisition. You did not requisition for it. We don't give you before you ask for it. Did you ask for it?
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. We had a meeting, we asked for that money, and Honorable Mao even wrote a letter. Yes, it is.
Honorable members, handle your issue politically. Honorable members, handle your issue politically. I know it is campaign time, you need money. Handle it politically. Honorable members, yes, Honorable, let me hear from Lope.
Right, Honorable Speaker. In all honesty, for starters, I think we need to clean up how we do certain things. We are all here. When you look at some of the issues being raised, we want certain roads to be worked on. We don't want to be fighting over that. But you see, even when we want some of these roads to be fixed and so on, let's tick all the boxes procedurally so that we don't have a fight regarding the law. You see, the order paper, item number 3, is talking about laying of these requests. And the Minister of Finance laid them. Item number 4, the committee chairperson is coming to table a report. And then the House has got to constitute itself into a committee of supply. We need to clean up some of these things so that we look neat, even legally. Away from that, Right Honorable Speaker, and again, as yes, the order paper is talking about laying and so on, the committee already sat, the reports are ready. Some of these things, when the public that follows
Honorable Lope,
our live broadcast.
We agreed, first of all, you should also accept that we do consultation, me and you. I told you, we consult. I told my Lope that we received these loans because it is urgent. I did administrative referral. And he said, well, it may not be very smart, but since it has happened, we consult. You get it as an institution.
Right, Robo, and I want to thank you for that consultative element. It happened this morning when the committee report was already ready, all the processes had happened. Maybe if I at least had been notified earlier on, a few days when the administrative decision was being taken. But now we are here. Now we are dealing with these matters. And here are some of the quick concerns that I do have, Right Honorable Speaker. We want to purchase new aircraft for Uganda Airlines for 22 billion shillings. You see, when you read Regulation 18 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2016, those regulations are very instructive. These supplementary items have got to be unavoidable, they have got to be unforeseeable. How is it that we did not foresee some of these things that we are talking about? That some emergency has happened. I would have expected this for some of the emergencies. Colleagues are always here telling us about how floods have hit their areas, bridges have collapsed and so on. That's when the Ministry of Finance is supposed to come here very quickly and say, hey, this was unforeseeable. It has happened, we need to deal with it. But some of these things, you're supposed to plan. We were here for the budget process, planning together. Why did you not bring these issues? That you're bringing them here now. We are scrambling, the Speaker has to call members, come from your constituencies and so on, to come and deal with an emergency. This is a bad planning issue. Honorable Speaker, we are talking about 300 billion shillings for countrywide youth mobilization tours. I saw somebody defending it and saying, this has been part of ongoing plans. If it was part of ongoing plans, why did you not encapsulate it in the budget? Why? Now you hear what he's saying. Anyway, good enough is even off record. You would all be disturbed by the response. Let's plan for all of these things. Because now when we come here, We go through the budget, we quarrel over what we quarrel over, we refuse this and maybe allow some things, and then a short while later you're coming and saying, hey, this was unforeseeable. No, I don't believe so. I don't agree. There's another disturbing issue. 37 billion shillings for a power stabilizer at Namave to enable Roofings Group extend steel manufacturing. This is not a national project, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. This is a direct subsidy to a private wealthy individual. I have specifically raised many complaints here, severally. These subsidies, the monies that we extend to Atiak Sugar Factory, to Rocco, Inspire Africa Coffee Factory, and so on and so forth, you have never come out clean here for people to know this is how I access a shot in the arm from government. Because we have ordinary people downtown with their small shops and so on, they also have loans. Their businesses are also crumbling. And they're saying, I would want government to aid me. Why is government aiding only a few wealthy ones? What's the process? So that somebody knows, this is how I apply. But you will come here for roofings, you'll come for Rocco, you'll come for Atiak, Day by your farmer, Inspire Africa Coffee. How do these things make sense? To your ordinary voters who are also doing business and they're saying, I'm struggling.
Love, actually, what you're saying is correct, because even when we empower, the empowerment, most of the empowerment is within the Kampala youth, your voters. So you find the Bukeda people are complaining. So you're one of the beneficiaries of this empowerment. You see, this kind of thing.
Honourable Speaker, I'm not a beneficiary, that's why I'm complaining. And by the way, I am not saying governments world over do this. Governments world over, they subsidize private entities and so on, but there is a clear modus operandi on how to do this. But now you leave people to suspect that company there, maybe somebody in government has got shares, so they begin to speculate how for them they are able to access all of this help. Does not make sense. Honourable Speaker, 79 billion shillings, part of this is for handheld hose to 7 million households. In the year 2025, we still want to purchase handheld hose for people, and yet we are talking about modernizing agriculture. But we want to purchase 7 million hose. This is my considered view, me as Joel Senyonyi. I'm saying it is problematic.
Honorable Joel,
we should be advancing.
Honorable Joel, just there are areas that cannot use the other kind of tractors. If you look at a place like Honorable Musa Sisi's place, if you look at a place like Sebei, Honorable Inikwen, you don't need the big tractors. You need those handheld hose.
That's okay, tractors. Right, Honorable Speaker. I am only saying we have been talking about modernizing agriculture. That's the direction we should be taking.
That is part of modernization.
This is my considered view, right, Honorable Speaker. I should be allowed space to air my view, which is contrary to some people. Yeah, so as far as I am concerned, saying we are spending 79 billion shillings to purchase 7 million hose, especially during this electoral season, there's so many question marks here. Honorable Speaker, 20 billion shillings is required by Uganda Airlines to settle debts for aircraft engine maintenance. So we bought the planes, but we forgot the budget for servicing them. That's what this means. That's why you're coming here with a supplementary. The new aircraft we want to purchase is from the manufacturer Boeing. We have Airbuses. So now you want to have a bit of this and a bit of the other. Why don't you take advantage of economies of scale? You're scrambling jets with spare parts. All of these things are not taken care of, Honourable Speaker. The Ministry of Tourism wants 6 billion shillings, partly to commemorate Martyrs' Day across Anglican, Catholic and Muslim faith. Every year we do this. Why did you not plan for this, government? For me, that's what I find quixotic. That you bring this through a supplementary. Every year, we are always here talking about Uganda Martyrs' Day, how it is a big tourism potential event, but you don't plan for it. Honourable Speaker, protect me from this man from Kasambia. So I'm saying that this is poor planning, honestly. Finally, Right Honourable Speaker, the Electoral Commission needs 469 billion shillings to create 15,256 new polling stations, 1.5 months to the election. How can this be okay? We have had 5 years to plan for an election. So 1.5 months to an election is when you're saying, oh, we need to create 15,000 new polling stations, give us money. But how?
Honorable Joel.
And then...
Honorable Joel.
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker.
Do they just need to create or they have created?
Right Honourable Speaker, and that's the entire plan.
That is a concern to all of us. This one is not partisan. Do they just need to create or they have created?
Honourable Speaker, and that's the planning element I am talking about. So at whichever time you have created them, it is now that you're saying we need money, as if you did not plan for it. But why? Why do you not plan properly? 1.5 months to an election. That's my big concern. Honourable Speaker, the biometric voter verification kits, part of which this money is going to take care of. Again, as I did mention earlier on, there are so many unanswered questions here. You're coming here to Parliament and saying, give us money. Members of Parliament are asking questions about these machines. In the past, they have been used and they never functioned. Network issues, usability, and so on and so forth. But you are saying, give us money. 1.5 months to elections. When is training going to happen? For all stakeholders, by the way, including us in this house. I need to know how this machine works because I'm a stakeholder. It's not just for the Electoral Commission officials. So that when I am sending my agents out, I have equipped them. This is what you need to look out for. This is how this thing works. This is when you know there is a problem. 1.5 months to the election. All of that is a green area. Honourable Speaker, we need government to come clean on this biometric voter verification kits. For all of us, by the way, as I did mention, I had colleagues in the NRM, some of them complaining that they were being rigged in their primaries and so on and so forth. This is a concern for all of us, not just we in the opposition. You also want to be sure that this process is fair, it is understandable, regardless where you do belong. So we need cleanness from the state regarding this.
These people are distracting me.
Finally, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable, what Honourable Senyon is saying, Attorney General, is a very important thing. Maybe we need to have a training for members of Parliament, since we are representatives of the people and we are all stakeholders. Can we organize for Electoral Commission to have an interaction with us so that we get to understand what the machines do, how they are supposed to be used, so that we go out there to tell the people that this is what you expect at the end of the day. So can we have that interaction with the EC as members of Parliament?
Honourable Speaker, a colleague wants to share information.
Madam Speaker, yesterday we were shocked. Even the Minister of Finance, the Honourable Musasi's, they did not know how these things are going to work. He was also asking in the committee. And I asked him, but you are the one presenting the request. How can you not even know how the Electoral Commission... And I am being truthful. Other members can confirm.
We are saying we all don't know. Don't specify on Musasisi. Everybody doesn't know. Let's have the training. And Honourable Lopez brought a very important issue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And you see, that's why it's always important to operate in the open. So you come here for money for these machines. You have little, if any, information about them, the one asking for the money. All stakeholders are not brought on board. Who are we purchasing them from? How are they meant to function, and so on and so forth. We have had concerns about network usability in the past and so on. And then we hear these machines could be used mandatorily. Because you see, government also needs to come out very clearly on that matter. Are they saying these kits are going to be used mandatorily. We need a yes or no, so that we know.
Electoral Commission should come out clear, not government, because the leadership in government are all candidates. So let Electoral Commission come out.
Honorable Speaker, here in Parliament, the Electoral Commission is represented by the Ministry of Justice and the Attorney General. The EC chairperson does not sit here, and that's why we're putting these issues to government. Yeah, so it's important that we get to know, are they going to be used mandatorily? If so, what happens where network fails? What happens where some of the officials, as we saw in the last election, the polling official does not know how to use the thing? Because we have a month to the elections, they have not been purchased yet. My final concern, right, Honorable Speaker.
But also, before you come to the final concern, those are some of the issues that when we are having an interaction with the EC, that we should be able to ask EC, and we should be able to get responses to that effect.
Thank you, and I really hope that those...
Right Honourable, I would want to provide information to the Leader of Opposition that in this supplementary, we have also provided money to NERA, and NERA has a robust plan to roll out card distribution, the national ID card distribution. And that is very important to the electoral process, because the system that you're talking about, you're referring to, will require every voter to use the national ID. And therefore, they must work in symphony. And so the supplementary to the Electoral Commission and to NERA are very important.
Everybody go to the IDs.
So that is what is happening, Right Honourable.
Right, Robert, now a spanner has been thrown in the works. And as I have been saying, about to sound like a broken record, we have a month and a half to the elections. We are now scampering around to do all of these different things. I don't see what magic we are going to do. I don't.
So can we conclude? Yes.
Finally, Honorable Speaker, look, this supplementary has got certain things that really, even me, I would be shy to oppose. You know, roads have got to be built. Some of our roads are in pathetic shape. Of course, normally I say, once we have passed the money, let's follow to be sure it is not stolen, as we normally see. That good roads are built, not getting potholes after 3 months and that kind of thing, yeah? So while there are some of those elements, of course I do have some other concerns like Uganda Airlines and all of these different things. Now, I don't want to be standing in the way of some of, in my view, the good elements of this supplementary. But again, I'm also a stickler to rules. Rule 25 of our rules of procedure provides that for us to take a vote on any matter, we have got to have a third of all the voting members present to vote. Of the 529, that should be 177. I do not see those members, whether it be on the government side or even the side that I lead, right, Honourable Speaker. I want to confess that even my side, colleagues are not present. They're out there campaigning. So I don't know that we have that number. I hear people saying some members are online. I hope the online people are going to vote and we shall know. Honorable so-and-so is online, they have voted this way. Honorable so-and-so is online, they have voted this way. That helps also so that we don't get challenged. Sometimes Parliament has been dragged to court over procedural issues, especially because some of these things are contentious. It's got to do with procurements, huge procurements, our electoral process. Let's cross every T and dot every I.
AG.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I just want to state to the House that I am going to communicate to the Electoral Commission and require them to come and have an interaction with the members of Parliament on how the BVVK will work and their readiness in that respect as stakeholders. I'll ensure that this communication reaches them before the end of tomorrow. Secondly, Law, I just needed to clarify that it is not for lack of planning. No, let me finish.
No, on the first point.
Clarification is for me, I'm not giving.
It's for
So supplementary expenditure, supplementary expenditure, LOP, is that we struggle, we understand the frustrations that you may have in the way some of these things show up. But at some points we are unable to anticipate. For example, it is impossible for the Electoral Commission to print ballot papers until the nominations and all these are done. We cannot even provide a number because the cost of the ballot paper is determined by the number of voters on the ballot paper. A ballot paper of 2 will be different from a ballot paper of 14. So some number of candidates. So some of these things are difficult for us to. Then the issue of machines, we are not purchasing all of them at a go. Rather, we're not paying for all of them at a go. You are paying advance and then as you get along, and that's fine. So we understand the frustration, but we assure you we do our best to try and achieve that. I also want to clarify on the issue of the roofings. We are not, this supplementary is not giving any money to roofings. We are doing a public line to stabilize the power into that direction, into the Namabe area. So that stabilization of the energy is consumed by all the people who are using that. But we understand, but colleagues, we request you to support government on this supplementary budget. And yes, we agree with you that we should always come back and make sure that we are accountable, and we promise to do better. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. And what Honourable Senyonyi talks about the issue of the matters, this is something that we know we have to provide. Honourable Minister, make sure that you put that in the next budgets so that we don't continue asking for supplementaries.
Madam Speaker, I want to.
The good thing, you're still going to be in the government in the next.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, first of all, there was an issue of irresponsible reporting, and I've said as a custodian, look at page 4. Actually, starting from page 2, almost the last paragraph, page 4, paragraph 3 and 4, and all the related reportings or allegations in relation to non-compliance to Article 156(2) and Rule 160 should be expunged from this record. We will not allow this on the record. Honourable members, yes, Honourable Medi.
Right, Honourable. Honourable Attorney General, on the 22nd, to be specific, on the 30th day of October 2025, we wrote to the Electoral Commission, that is from the ecological part of Uganda, and we requested them to respond to the following questions. Right, Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank you for your intervention on this matter. But this should not be restricted only to members of Parliament, but if we can also involve political parties, because they are participating at that level, and other local leaders at that level, because these are the questions I posed, Right, Honourable Speaker. One is the issue of data protection, because our data, other than having the machine supplier, there will be an interface between the voters' roll, our data from NIRA, and the supplier who I hear allegedly is from China. Now that is important, that this individual or this company will now have my biometrics, will have my facial recognition supplied to it from the National Data Center of Uganda, and knowing at the moment that one of the most important things is proliferation of data. That I'll sit here and someone who has my biometrics will be able to open up my mobile phone that is smart from a remote area. Yes, because when they supply this data for verification, including my biometrics, I don't know how secure it is. Then secondly, the other question we posed was whether these biometric voter verification machines will be labeled according to the polling stations where they will be deployed. And I know the reason as to why I'm asking this question in particular. Just like, you know, when we get the parking list of ballots and etc., there is pure annotation and, there is pure marking of everything that this is for Uganda, this polling station, N to M, A to Z. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, with the world of technology that we are having, there is a possibility of hacking and cyber penetration by third parties. How secure are we that you might have a machine and there is a bypass from another party? The security of our elections. Therefore, as I conclude, Right Honorable Speaker, the Electoral Commission must come and demonstrate the dry run for us as to how it will handle, because a polling station might have between 300 and 500 people. How these people will be handled in a sequence of 5 minutes or 3 minutes, because if it's 2 minutes per person, then in 1 hour you can handle about probably 30 persons. And if we have 10 voting hours, then what happens to those that are still in the queue? So these are things we want to try and test through a dry run, that we stand in a line and they call by name and we see how we put our biometric figures there and how much time the interface between that information coming out from NIRA and telling you now you can move into the queue to vote. You might find that some people might be disenfranchised, or we might have to go to 2 days of continuous voting.
Thank you. Honorable members, this is what Honorable Lope had raised. When should we have that as members of parliament?
I think, Right Honorable Speaker, please allow the Electoral Commission to come, interface with you, and you, because I have assured you that I am going to have Electoral Commission come to interface. Otherwise, we're going to repeat and I'm not going to provide any answers.
I'm asking members, when are you available? Honorable members, I have been informed that Electoral Commission, most of the members have gone for the printing of ballot papers. Is Friday okay with you people? Is Friday okay? Honorable members, Friday sports. What? Love, get a microphone. But we have sports. We have sports. Honorable members, we are going to discuss with the Electoral Commission and we'll send you a message that the Electoral Commission will be available on such and such a day. And you endeavor to come. If you don't come, that will be your problem. And as I've told you, some of us are waiting for swearing in. Honorable members, I now put a question that this House resolves itself into a committee of supply to consider the supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The Committee of Supply. Recurrent expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 1,116,477,119,718 shillings be approved as a total recurrent expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Total development expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 534,185,335,000 Uganda shillings 534,185,325,469 shillings be approved as a total development expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Statutory expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 8,344 shillings be approved as a total statutory expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Grand total expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 1 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 1,652,285,453,531 shillings be approved as a total expenditure under supplementary schedule number 1 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
Minister.
Right Honorable Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House resumes and the Committee of Supply reports thereto.
I put a question that the House resumes and the Committee of the Supply reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Somebody wants to sleep here. He's fearing voters. I understand what Honorable Semuju is going, what is going through. Voters are hot.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of Supply has considered the supplementary schedule number 1 totaling to 1,252,285,453,531 and passed it without amendments.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister. Adoption.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of Supply be adopted.
I put a question that the report for the Committee of Supply be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Item 5, motion for the House to resolve itself into a Committee of Supply to consider supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that the House resolves itself into a Committee of Supply to consider the supplementary expenditure number 2 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Committee of Supply.
This one is just one item, but the rest we must capture them vote by vote.
Total development expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 1,696,4,729,281 shillings be approved as a total development expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Grand total supplementary expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 1,696,4,729,281 shillings be approved as a total expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule number 2 for the financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House resumes and the Committee of Supply reports thereto.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House resumes and the Committee of Supply reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. you check? You check.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of Supply has considered the supplementary schedule number 2 totaling to 1,696,4,729,281 shillings and passed it without amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of Supply be adopted.
Honourable members, I put a question that the report of the Committee of Supply be adopted by this House. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Item 6 on the order paper. Motion for the House to resolve itself into a Committee of Supply to consider the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that the House resolves itself into a Committee of Supply to consider the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I'm sorry.
Then we sit. Let's go ahead.
Total recurrent expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Honorable Chair,
I put a question that a total sum of you.
On that matter, there is a strike, a pending strike by doctors, which we could fix. Which we could fix on this supplementary.
We are in supply. We have finished 5 years in this House, and we don't know that when it is supply, it is not for debate. A debate ended, we are in supply.
When there is a pending strike,
please.
I thought would be, okay.
We appreciate the strike. And as government, we are aware and we must handle it. You're dealing with the government. We are going to handle. I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 1,214,855,095,118 shillings be adopted as total recurrent expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule for number 3 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Total development expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 1,554,370,016,552 shillings be approved as a total development expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for financial year 2025-2026. Be approved. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Total statutory expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 1,986,880,000,000 be approved as a total statutory expenditure under supplementary expenditure number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Grand total supplementary expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 4,756,105,111,170 shillings be approved as a total expenditure under the supplementary expenditure number 3 for the financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House resumes and the committee of the whole House reports thereto.
Committee of Supply
reports thereto.
I put a question that the House resumes and the Committee of Supply reports thereto. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of Supply has considered the supplementary schedule number 3 totaling to Uganda shillings 4,756,105,111,170 shillings and passed it without amendments.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of Supply be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of Supply be adopted by this House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you so much, honorable members, honorable Minister, Chair Budget, and the members. I want to thank you so much for handling the supplementary. Honorable Minister, I know you've considered a number of roads. Thank you. But I have one very crucial road that 1 or 2, actually 3. The Lira Aloy Otuke Abim Kotido Road should be considered. We have Lira Apala Otuke. We have Buheshu Road. Buheshu. We have Kachonga, Butaleja, Busole, Butaleja, Tororo. Now that tells you that I've gone through this country. Now those roads, Dokolo Namasale, Otuhe. Honorable Minister, we need to look at those roads. Then there was a road, part of the road that we are working on in Isingiro. Yes. Isingiro towards the Tanzania. Yes. And then we have the BKK ferry. January, we are opening it in January. Okay. BKK 1 and BKK 2. BKK 1 and BKK 2. Agaba.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to congratulate you upon passing through unopposed. Thank you for giving me this time, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the chairman, the roads he read, but he has forgotten to read our road under oil roads. I have 9 sub-counties. All 7 sub-counties, I have a pipeline, Right Honorable Speaker. When they were working on those roads, they did not consider that our constituency, Buganga, is east. So the road from Nare, Yochisi, Tampasana, Nkoko, going to Chiboga and going to Mubende was never considered. Right Honorable Speaker, and that road was put in this supplementary. But I think under budget, and the Honorable Minister of Works, knows about that road because he was recently there.
That road is under NDP4.
Yes.
It is under NDP4. It will come in the budget.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The House adjourned Sunday.